BYD is the latest EV brand to launch in Australia, and this will be its first model. It's a small electric SUV called the Atto 3. And although you can order yours now, this one is a pre-production model and you won't get yours until around mid-2022. So is it worth waiting for? Let's check it out. BYD is the latest Chinese car maker to lob in Australia, and its sole focus is electric vehicles. The fledgling brand, which plans to sell its cars locally, both online and in dealerships, already has its first showroom up and running in the Sydney CBD, but customer deliveries of its first full-time model aren't set to begin until July 2022. And the Atto 3 is priced at $44,990 drive away, which will make it one of the cheapest EVs in the country. And it's gunning to undercut the likes of MG, which up until now has offered the cheapest EV in Australia. In terms of design, well, this thing is relatively tame compared to a lot of other cars we've seen come from the Middle Kingdom. Measuring up at just over 4.4 metres long and 1.8 metres wide, it's about the same size as its main rival, the MG ZS EV. As standard, you get 18-inch alloy wheels, a panoramic sunroof, LED headlights, and a full-width LED light bar. And if you ever forget what BYD stands for, don't worry, because the tailgate will remind you in a big, bold font, build your dreams. Every BYD Atto 3 comes with a single motor front-wheel drive powertrain, and you get a choice of 2 battery sizes. But unlike most other EVs, the Atto 3 doesn't come with a front trunk, or frunk as some call it. In terms of performance, BYD says the city crossover can sprint from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in a respectable 7.3 seconds. If you go for the smaller 50 kilowatt hour battery, BYD says to expect a driving range of around 320 kilometers. For another $3,000, the larger 60 kilowatt hour battery in the extended range model, which is what this car is fitted with, boosts that figure to 420 kilometers. The BYD Atto 3 brings a really unique looking and smelling interior. This one smells a little bit funky, but we're told that that's just some of the chemicals they've used to clean it, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. That aside though, the tricolour faux leather material you see here will come standard on every model when these cars arrive, and it actually looks pretty neat in person. Overall as well, the cabin feels pretty solid and well built, but if you look hard enough, you'll find some cheaper materials up around the dash. According to BYD, the design theme is one of youth and athleticism. These air vents are supposed to symbolise dumbbells, while scallops in the dash allegedly represent a muscle. When it arrives here, the Atto 3 will also be one of very few cars that are available with a factory-fitted dash camera. And something no other car offers, at least at this price point, is a swivel touchscreen. How cool is that? It measures up at a sizable 12.8 inches, but you can forget Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. That'll be offered later on as an over-the-air update. In the meantime, BYD uses its own technology called D-Link. There's also a remote start feature on the key fob and a smartphone app said to be under development, which will eventually allow you to control vehicle settings from your device. I really like that the instrument cluster moves with the steering wheel, and even though the unit itself and the font is quite small, it's actually pretty easy to use and the graphics are really nice and clear. The Atto 3 is yet to be crash tested locally, but production versions will bring 7 airbags and a pretty extensive safety suite as standard. Chinese car manufacturers often put a lot of emphasis on rear seat comfort, and the BYD Atto 3 is no exception. This car has a really long wheelbase, so you get a lot of room back here and a lot of leg space too. When it comes to the rear end, the Atto 3 won't win any awards for boot space, but it is adequate. Unfortunately, we can't drive the Atto 3 on road, but we can drive it around the showroom. That's about it. When it comes to servicing, My Car, previously known as Kmart Tyre and Auto, will be the dedicated service partner for BYD vehicles in Australia, where the Atto 3 is covered by the same 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty as the MG ZS EV. For reference, the MG's battery warranty is unlimited. From over-the-air updates, vehicle-to-load capability, meaning you can use the vehicle as a power source, and an interior that feels like it was pulled from a vehicle double its price. For under $50,000, the BYD Atto 3 seemed like really good value. We'll hold our final judgment until we can drive this new EV, but from what we've seen today, the BYD Atto 3 just might be worth waiting for.